Hey Stash Busters! So I'm going to show you how to do the iris stitch. We've had some requests for it, and it's pretty quick. It's a nice way to, again, it's a nice way to make inches quick. You know how Kimber loves that. So the stitch math for the iris stitch is 4 plus 2, if you were wondering, in case you just want to do a blanket or something and you want to make the size of it whatever you want. I am just going to do a quick little swatch here so I can show you how to set it up. So I have chained, and I have put in a row of half double. You can put in a row of single, you can foundation chain, you can do whatever you want, as long as you have that 4 plus 2 once you are ready to start working the first part of the iris stitch. So without further ado, you double crochet right into that end. So it's the first leg of the first V. So essentially the iris stitch is just the V stitch twice in one stitch with a chain one space in between them, like so. It's super hot out, you guys. My hands are sticky. I hate that. It gets hot in here. Anyway, so that's like the first iris, and it does pull itself out square once you get going, but the next step in it is to skip 3. So you put 2 doubles, a chain 1, and 2 more doubles in one stitch right on the end, and then you skip 1, 2, 3 stitches, okay, or 3 chains if you didn't put a foundation row in, and then do it again. So double crochet, twice, chain 1 in between, double crochet in the same stitch twice more, and you have another one, and then again skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and into that 4th chain or 4th stitch, double crochet twice, chain 1 in between, double crochet twice again in the same stitch, and skip 3, 1, 2, 3 into that 4th, double crochet twice, chain 1, double crochet twice again in the same stitch. Ooh, I'm all hot and sticky. Okay, and skip the 3 and do it again, and I'll show you what you do when you get to the end here. Double crochet twice and a chain 1 and twice again in the same stitch, makes the first iris stitch row. Now when you skip 3 here, you got 1 left, so you V stitch right, or you iris stitch right into that, okay? So and chain 1, okay, so that's what you get off of your the first part. So those are all irises, okay? That's the first part. Now I'm going to turn, okay? And the stitch doesn't really have a right side or a wrong side, and that makes it kind of nice for lots of things too. So now I am going to chain 2, which counts as the first leg in my next iris stitch. So this is a leg, this is a leg, then there's a chain 1 space, and this is a leg, and this is a leg. Each iris stitch has 4 legs with a chain 1 between them, between the 2 sets, okay? So now I'm going to double crochet. This time you don't anymore, now you don't go into your stitches. You go between these 2 legs, these 2 sets of legs of the previous iris stitch, and iris stitch again, double crochet. So now I've got 2 because I've my chain 2, and I am going to chain 1 and then double crochet 2 more in between the legs of this previous row's iris stitch. And that's how you keep your side straight. And then without chaining or anything, we just go right over to the chain 1 space in the next previous row's iris stitch right here and iris stitch again. Double crochet twice, chain 1, double crochet twice, and as you can see, it starts to stack this pretty little row of irises, and each row like that follows pulls the space open in the row before it, and so it makes a really nice long pattern of irises that go. It makes it look like you stitched it this way instead of this way. It's kind of cool. So keep that in mind if you're making something. You know, you might want to do it on the length versus the width, or vice versa, depending on what you're making. But that, my friends, is it. You just keep going, and then whenever you're finished, to complete the uniformity of the piece, I recommend putting one, mirroring whatever you started with. So if you started with a single crochet and with one, or half double, or whatever you did, on the opposite end of whatever you're doing, unless of course you're working on using it in. This is great for baby clothes. It flares nicely if you're doing peplum sweaters, or even for adults. I made a cap sleeve peplum sweater out of this. With the iris stitch, and it just turned out cute, and it's kind of stretchy like knit, so very drapey. But yeah, that's it. That is how you iris stitch. Okay, see you later, Stash Busters.